Welcome to the SaaS Deep Dive podcast, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of SaaS and the people behind it driving the industry forward. I'm Daan Drijver and I'm your host. Today we have a very special guest, my youngest brother, Daan Drijver. He was a professional hockey player and he started his customer success job at TechLayer. Since he started, he has a 0% churn rate, which is really rare. Daan, welcome.
Thank you.
You decided to start working together with your big brother, but before, how did you get there?
I started with my studies international business management at KDG, which you also started.
I started, but I didn't finish it.
You didn't finish it, I know, but I remember when I was still in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was a bit searching, and you started at KDG, and I followed you for a day. I remember. Was a few classes that I joined. No one said anything.
I just took you in.
You just took me in, which was special. And there I remember that it was a lot of different cultures, English speaking study as well. And I enjoyed it, the first class. You dropped out eventually to start your business, of course. But I didn't know what to do. And that's why my first touch with KDG and the international business management studies was eventually my choice to join there.
Okay.
And
you did finish it?
I did finish it. Yeah. It took me a bit longer though, because I also did some professional hockey, of course, with it. But I finished it and I enjoyed it a lot. A lot of sales, marketing, accountancy. It's so varied, the study, that everything was very open for me. I didn't know what to do eventually.
Yeah.
So then after that, I started looking, and I came to AFAS Software, my previous employer. And then I did a traineeship for consultancy. Yeah. And the main thing that I enjoyed there was helping the clients improve the project with the software that they had. Yeah. I did that for 2 years, and you were looking for someone to do the same with the tool. Yeah. And I saw the tool, of course, multiple times because we're brothers.
Yeah, that's true.
And but with the new update, I was really blown away, and I was very excited myself, even though that I wasn't working with it. Yeah. So yeah, then eventually I was looking, maybe I want to do something else. And of course, the opportunity to work with your brother is it's very beautiful, I think. It's you have to have a strong relationship, I think, to be able to do that. But I believe we have that. And that's why
to be able to say everything to each other.
Yeah, of course.
That's really important. Otherwise, it's not gonna work out.
No, true. And I think we have that foundation, and we have that. We support each other very much. So with the experience and the updates and the trust that we have, I really like the story to continue with the three of us. Yeah. So that's why I eventually switched from employers and started working at TechLayer. Yeah.
I also love it to work together with my two brothers. It's really nice to have them aboard and to build on something together. It's really nice and beautiful, I think. But then you started at TechLayer. Your first day, it's completely different. If you compare like a big corporate, let's say like that, to like a scale-up, what did your first day look like, and how was it different than like working for a corporate?
The corporate is very strict. You know the tasks. You know you have an onboarding process, and you immediately know, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And with I think with the SaaS company, the startup or scale-up that we are working in, it was a bit varied, of course, because you have more responsibilities. So the first day is a lot of information, which is normal, but on different items instead of a specific role that you're going to that you applied for. Let's say that, because I'm doing the customer success, but also the onboardings and also the partnership manager for the marketing agencies. So it's a very there's a lot of variety in the role. Yeah, and that was a bit.
That's normal. It's like because you're like a small team. It's what it is. Do you like it more, or are you like I'm feeling better in like an environment where I have my specific tasks and that's it.
I like it a lot more.
Okay.
I was a bit stuck with the previous employer that it's very specific what you do every day,
No.
and there's no freedom in what you do. There's a fixed process, and you have to stick to it.
Yeah.
Well, now, even though that I was it was my first day or my first week, you immediately gave me the task to create a new process for customer success, for example. And then I think it's also good for you because you work with a specific process already.
Yeah.
And I come from an outside company or another view that I have, and you're not fixed. You don't have blinders on, and you can really change the process and evolve it a bit.
You can make an impact really, really quickly.
Yeah.
From day one.
Yeah, from day one. Yeah. And that's what also that gave me a lot of energy. I remember thinking about the process and writing it down, and together we were working on it. That was very. It gave me a lot of energy.
Okay.
So that was the first week and first 2 weeks. That was very exciting.
So what did you make of it? So like in the first weeks, it was like defining the process and so on. But what did you make of it in the end? Like, what does the process look like? How does it start?
It started with the sales, of course, with Bart. In the beginning there was not really a bridge between sales and IT going live with a client. There was a missing part. So now we made sure that sales is giving me the cases. I start with the onboarding process. I talk with the clients even during the sales process.
Yeah.
So before we start with the trial, so that I know what the target is, what they really want to achieve within the trial period. And then I start to build the cases. So specifically on their needs and what they told that they want to achieve and what their problems are. I make the cases, or I help drive the IT department to accomplish the needs of the client.
Okay, and with cases, you're talking about like improvements on the website or other channels, right?
Yeah.
So talk me a bit through like cases. Like it's like a very general world. We understand it, but maybe our viewers don't understand it. Like, what is a case? And give me some examples of cases.
Yeah. So usually, if it depends, of course, what industry you're looking at. But if you're looking at e-commerce or recruitment, for example, we often work with recommendations. They're based on visitor activity, for example. So if you click on a recommendation box or you click on certain products, you have a lot of static recommendation boxes at the moment from websites, and we can make them
before they start working together with us.
Yeah, before they start working together with us, and when they start working together with us, we make those boxes dynamic based on the behavior of the visitor. And that has a huge impact because you immediately make the recommendation boxes personal and more tailored to the needs of the visitor. Yeah. So we see a big increase in conversion rates when we implement those recommendation boxes. But then you have another process, which is like an exit intent, for example. If someone leaves the site, you still want them to stay on the website because some people may come from job boards or other ads.
Yep.
You still want them to see another product if they don't like it. So you have an exit intent, which helps to get more impressions on the website. And then we also have a personalization side, which is if I see the visitor has certain interests in a certain topic, then I can change the homepage or certain boxes on the homepage, for example, to make it more personal for them. That they feel...
So for instance, if they're interested in technical jobs, they will see a banner of technical person working, so they feel more welcome on the website, and they're going to convert faster.
Yeah, they will of course get a feeling that they're at the right place because they see what they're interested in.
And you're not only talking about the website, but there are also like other channels.
True. We also have the job alerts, for example, which has a huge impact on conversions. Same idea as the recommendations. They're also dynamic. So based on the activity of the visitor, we will show certain jobs or products or articles that are interesting for the visitor.
Yeah.
They also stay dynamic. And then we have to think, when are we going to show a job alert banner or a certain banner that people can apply for the email campaign, for example. Push notifications is the same idea. And retargeting, which is a lot of companies are struggling a bit with retargeting sometimes. Of course, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
And now, based on the first-party data, you can make some audiences that are specifically tailored if they converted or not. They have a specific interest based on their behavior, and then you can create audiences and send them through to your Meta or your Google Ads.
Okay. The most interesting one, the one that we launched not so long ago, is the conversion prediction.
Yeah.
Also interesting for the retargeting.
Yeah.
How does that work?
The conversion prediction is with 88% accuracy. We can predict if someone's going to convert or not. So I also say during my customer success meetings, which I also think is an interesting one, if someone has a high chance of converting, but they didn't convert, then I can push them through to the ad accounts. And then you can retarget them, and then they're already warm, and it's easier for them to convert in the end.
AI is like a huge topic nowadays, but we're already working with it for quite a few years. We use it in our recommendations. We use it in the conversion prediction. We even use it in our onboarding. How do the clients react to it? Because before this, they didn't really, care so much about it, but now it's like a huge hype. How do you see that they react to it, and how does it make them feel?
Yeah, you win a lot of time, of course. It's a big time saver. So, for example, with the recommendation templates that we have and the recommendation itself, like to create the boxes, it's so easy to do. It's a few clicks, and based on the AI algorithm that we created, within a few seconds you can already create a dynamic banner with recommendations inside, and it just saves a lot of time for the client, and they don't have to think about it anymore because it's all going automatically.
Yeah.
And before, if it's a static banner, for example, you always have to think, what are we going to show here? What's going to be relevant? And now, based on AI and the algorithm that we created, you save a lot of time. You don't have to think about it, and it's even more accurate. So that's
okay. So
that's a big one.
Step one, you decided some cases with the clients. How does it go on from there? Like, do they onboard themselves? Like, sometimes they do it with the marketing agencies or the clients themselves, or if they want more custom things, like step two is you decide which way to go there, or?
Yeah, it depends a bit on the needs, of course, of the client and how that they were contacted, because we have the marketing agencies. But the general process that we do is, if they chose the cases that they want to apply, we start with a trial period of 3 months with an A/B test. So we put all the cases that we created into an A version, and the B version sees the regular website.
Yep.
And then in the performance dashboard, we can see the difference in conversions in the A and the B version. And based on those results, we can prove to the client how beneficial our tool is. And there we mainly have a 9 to 32% higher conversion rate. But it can vary a lot, because we have some clients that recently had 80%. And one that got 40%. So those are great results.
That's quite a lot. We cannot promise that to everyone.
No, of course. But it depends always on the website and the cases, how the website is structured, what you already have. So it varies a lot, but it can have significant results on
the results can go quite crazy.
Yeah,
we saw it in the past as well, but it's also possible that in the beginning, like if you start with a process, so you do the A/B test, that the results are not good.
Yeah,
that also happened.
Yeah,
but like, how does the client react to it, and how do you react to it?
The client, it depends a bit. Sometimes they expect more conversions, for example, but the other client can be very happy because they get more impressions already on the website, so they can see more interaction on the website, which is already important. But the other ones are more focused on conversion rates. How do I look at it? If it's not going well, it's important to have an analysis of the cases that you have and see if there's improvements to be made. It can be really small. Sometimes we had one client, I remember, we were losing with an A/B test. And I think we only made changes to the title and a button. And that had a significant improvement. I think we started losing with 10%, and after that we were winning 20%.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I also saw it in the past, like how really small changes, like purely psychological changes, like in text, in colors, in images, and so on, can really make a huge difference. Even positions of things can really make a huge difference. So it's really important. Like that's the thing. Like sometimes clients expect like a huge conversion increase when they start working together with us, but it's not always right from the beginning, and that's normal, but it's a learning process. So we also try to say that to the clients, that it is a learning process, that they cannot expect like an immediate 30% increase, that it might be possible that there's like a small decrease even in the beginning. It's just that we need to learn, we need to improve, and that's really important to bring that mindset as well to the clients. With the A/B test, you can make decisions, and if it's not working, you know it's not working, you can move on to the next A/B test, or you can change some things and make it work.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it will be worth it, because we know that some cases work. So we do have like some predefined cases, right? Or that we know that works.
Yeah, for sure. So we have the predefined ones, but also we work with custom cases, of course.
Yeah.
So we have our fixed cases that you can choose from. But there's always a client that wants a custom case, for example. And that's also part of my role, that I'm the bridge between the client and our IT, for example, our development team. So if they have a specific need, that I communicate that to IT and make sure that the custom case is created. One of those cases is an abandonment case, for example, which I really like. It's very cool.
How does that work? Explain me.
So you go to an e-commerce website, for example. You are interested in a certain product. You click on the add to cart button. You start with the process of filling in your application. You get distracted, or you want to see something else. So you click back. You start scrolling again. But for the sake, it's possible that you forget that you have something in your cart.
Shopping cart. Yeah.
So we trigger an abandonment pop-up, which doesn't disturb the process as well, because you're still able to scroll. It's not that you have to click it. You have to click on the exit before you can continue with your process. It's just a small reminder to continue or finish your purchase. Your purchase. And that has a huge impact as well. And that's a great example of a custom case that we create for clients, and that's still some custom work from IT, and they're happy to do it.
Yeah, it's sometimes there are some custom cases indeed, but it also takes along more risk, I think, for us, especially when the client wants some custom cases, because we know what works. We know what works in an A/B test, so it's also more interesting for us to later in the process include that custom cases. First, it's important to prove ourselves with the things we know that work, and then after, it's more interesting to add some custom cases that we maybe didn't try before. Most of the times we did, but we don't always know if it's going to work on every website.
True. That's also the thing with customer success. So if you start with a trial, of course, here also it depends on the client what they want, but you don't want to overwhelm them with too many cases. You don't want to try too much, because then it's not clear what's active on your website, or it can be too much sometimes. So we divide it, of course, by saying, okay, we start with 5 cases, and after that we have a monthly meeting, and every month we look at, okay, what can we improve now? So we create a roadmap, and on the roadmap we can put some custom cases, or retargeting, or multiple A/B testing, where you improve the layout of the website or of a certain detail page of product or of a vacancy. And those also have a huge impact. But you don't want to start immediately with it.
No, you've made like, I know that you made like a list of 250 possible cases. So there are a lot of possibilities. There are even more of it. But it's also important to maybe go on extra channels. So if the website is working, it's maybe interesting to go to email, push notifications, WhatsApp, or the retargeting. How do you like convince them to go to the other channels as well?
I want to show them the value. So I try to create, I want to give them insights on the numbers that we created already. Yeah. So for example, with I have a client right now who wants to look at the email, the job alert.
Yeah.
So what do? I look at the previous results that we made
with other clients.
And I make an average of that, and then I can tell them these are the results that you can expect. This is what we already accomplished. So that's usually how we do it. And then of course with the recommendations itself, we already proved to them that those work. And if those work on the website, it will also work in a job alert. So it's a combination of those two. So the numbers and the numbers of other clients, and then the numbers that we already proved during our trial or during the period that we're live.
Yeah,
we combine those, and I try to make them see the benefit of using the job alert.
Yeah. Another challenge and really interesting how you tackle that as well. Like when a client decides to leave, what do you do? How do you react to it? And what are the reasons? Maybe start with that. What are the reasons that they leave? Because most of the times it's like maybe a miscommunication. Because I was doing like the customer success at first. We were not putting enough time into our clients because I have like a lot of different tasks. So I couldn't really focus 100% on our clients. Is it all because of that there like was not a good process in it? And what are like the reasons that they leave, and how do you convince them to stay?
There are different reasons. There was a few times that a marketing agency, for example, or a new partner that they're working with, and they decide to work with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes those calls are made from a higher level, and people that work with it don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty unfortunate, of course, because sometimes the people at the higher level, I don't think that they really know the results that we're that we're creating,
and they also maybe don't understand what we're doing. Because I also had meetings with like that they said like, we're gonna stop using tech layer, and then I asked like for a meeting with the person that decided about it, and I showed everything, showed the results, and they were like, okay, we actually don't have to stop with this because it works pretty good.
Yeah. So there was a few instances where you can see that there's a bit of a miscommunication between another party internally, for example, that they don't really know the worth that we're giving.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I think sometimes you don't have it. You don't have a choice, or the client doesn't have a choice with the things that are going bad.
Also sometimes economical circumstances.
Yeah.
That can also happen. That's that they have to make budget cuts. But I did notice as well, like, again, if they see the value, they will cut you out a lot later than other things. And that's also what we're seeing right now, is that we really worked really hard on making it very clear to have the data for our clients, that they can really see the results in their Google Analytics, for instance, that they can see the results via A/B testing, so that they can report it directly to their managers. If that's like I think like if that's really clear for them, and if we've set it up good, there's until today no client that left because they see that there's an enormous value.
True. So that's always the thing that I try to do as well, is to make them see that, to see the results, the improvements that we made, and the higher increases in conversion rate, of course, for them is a higher increase in revenue.
Yeah.
So if you make that clear to them, then it shouldn't be a hard choice sometimes to stay with us.
No.
So yeah, that's what I try to do. Is to, of course, I'm understandable. I understand that sometimes things can be rough for other companies as well, and they have to make some decisions. So I get that, but still, I always want to give them the results.
Yeah, it's very straightforward, because if you put the numbers in and it's like the return on investment is pretty steep. Yeah, it's a no-brainer actually to continue using it as well.
True.
And that's actually always the case. So it's like really important that we get the results good in every client, and we're working on it now. We have a good process. We are implementing it with every client. And I think we're doing a good job with that.
And the next step as well is what I want to focus on is to educate the clients as well.
Yeah.
So there's also a big focus now on the workshops, to really activate them to work themselves in the tool.
Yeah.
Because of course you can have ideas and you can send them to me, but if a client can do it themselves, then it's faster for everyone. You don't have to send an email anymore. You can do it yourself. You have more control.
Yeah.
So I also think that's a huge benefit. So I give regular workshops to the clients, and I try to activate them.
What does the workshop? What does it look like? How do you do it? Like,
of course, first I want to get to know them a bit.
Yeah.
So that's also a big part of customer success. I think it's important to know your customer, not just the company, but also the person that you're working with. So I try to look for a bit of a connection, and once it's there, I try to start with the workshop itself, and it's usually I'm going from A to Z, all the components of the tool. I show them what they can do, what they're capable of what the tool is capable of, and then the next step is to make them or let them make some cases.
Yeah.
So I try to activate them during the workshop with some cases that I prepared before the workshop, or I ask them to think of certain cases that they want to implement already. So it's a bit of a combination of those things. And then the next step after the workshop, I try to still activate them to finish their cases before I have the next monthly meeting.
Yeah.
So we can review them and then put them live. Yeah.
Okay. And because it's really good that you're actually working together with them to also educate them and to let them use the tool. The feedback that we get, like in general as well from the market, is that our tool is very user friendly. Especially if you compare it to our competitors. Can you say something about that? What's the feedback that you get? Like, is there like a high learning curve, or are they like how much time do you need and how many workshops do you need to get them ready to start using it?
I really think you only need one. I mean, it's not that I was very good at it in the beginning, but my first onboarding was after 3 weeks, I think. And that was only after, I think, one onboarding that I followed that you did. It's very user friendly. It's drag and drop. You can easily see what you're doing with the journeys, what you try to create. The thing is that the tool is very easy to use, but you just have to think about what you want to do with the tool.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because the tool itself is very straightforward, but it's the thought process behind it that gives the value to the tool.
Yeah. That's what we're trying to explain as well with the other videos that we're making, the thought process behind it, that people are understanding it and that they know what to do with the tool, the tool as well.
Yeah.
And also on our roadmap for the coming months is like creating a lot more templates and so on. So they really start to understand what they can do and what all the possibilities are, because there are like so many. There are endless possibilities. You can keep on going on and on and on. And that's really really nice.
And it's the small things again, and that's
Yeah.
what we already said. A small thing can have a huge impact.
Yeah.
So if you improve your website every time with 1%, that will eventually make a huge difference.
Yeah, that's true. And if you look at like the perfect onboarding, like what's your record? Like how long did you need to do it? Because I know what's mine, so I don't know yet what's yours. So I'm really curious.
I think it was 40 minutes. I think 40 minutes. You?
I was on 32.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was 40 minutes, my record, I think. We're improving on it.
Yeah, you will beat me fast.
We're timing it.
You will beat me soon. We'll be fine.
I think I will beat you now.
Yeah, you will beat me now for sure. For sure.
It's
but it also depends, because that's like if a website is like perfectly fine when there are no issues at all, then it can go so fast.
True.
But if there are some issues, it can take a couple of hours as well. So we have to be really, really honest with that it isn't always the case that it goes so smoothly and fast.
Yeah.
Especially if there are some custom cases, it takes longer.
Custom cases always takes a bit longer. That's that's true.
Then I'm very interested as well, like with your hockey, maybe explain a bit more about that. Like you played from early on, from an early age, you started playing professional. Tell me a bit about it.
I started professional hockey at 14. I'm a goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
I was a goalkeeper actually.
Mm-hmm.
And from early on, it was a very professional environment, which really attracted me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Very competitive. Teamwork was central, of course, because field hockey is a team sport.
Yeah.
And then after that, after the first team, that's where I started of my hockey club, Antwerp. I started joining the national teams for the youth, under 16, under 18, under 21s. And then I have a few caps on my name.
How many?
For eight caps. Yeah,
nice.
It was a combination between Hockey Fives, which was a European Cup in Poland, and 2 games against India in Belgium. Yeah.
And what did you learn from that entire experience, and how does it help you in your professional career?
A goalkeeper is a strange role. It's a bit different than you're alone but together in a team.
Yep.
So I learned to be a bit of a leader for a team as well, because you start from the back and you have to coach everyone, every line. And it always has to start from somewhere. So if no one's talking on the field, then I have to start to make like an effect on the field. If you hear something from the back, then you can repeat it forward. So that's that was a huge role for me. What I also learned, is perseverance. It's not easy. It's very hard. You have to say no a lot to other things in life. But if you believe and you really want to achieve what you're dreaming of, then you can make that commitment for yourself, to the team. You make agreements with yourself, also with the team, and then you can get to a goal and achieve the goal that you want. It's
so then I understand why you picked customer success as well. It's like speaking up about like getting the goals of your team. Your team are the clients. You want them to achieve their goals. You look for problems. You speak up to tackle that problems, and you look for a solution, and you want that everyone is operating well and reaches their goal.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit the goalkeeper at Tech Layer as well. Yeah, it's a bit the same. True.
Indeed. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Then thanks for being here. It was nice talking to you again. We speak every day, but it was nice to have this chat.
Thanks, man.
Bye.